Sakal Gunarnavasha Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindan.
All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narad, Daumya, Vyas the incarnation of God, Brihadash, Bharadvaj and Parashuram and disciples Vasisht, Indrapramad, Trit, Kritsamad, Asita, Kakshivan, Gautam, Atri, Kaushik and Sudarshan were present. Parvat Muni is considered to be one of the oldest sages. He is almost always a constant companion of Narad Muni. They are also spacemen competent to travel in the air without the help of any material vehicle. Parvat Muni is also a Devarshi, or a great sage amongst the demigods, like Narad. He was present along with Narad at the sacrificial ceremony of Maharaj Janamaji, son of Maharaj Parikshit. In this sacrifice all the snakes of the world were to be killed. Parvat Muni and Narad Muni are called Gandharvas also because they can travel in the air, singing the glories of the Lord. Since they can travel in the air, they observed Draupadi's Svayamvar ceremony, selecting of her own husband from the air. Like Narad Muni, Parvat Muni also used to visit the royal assembly in the heaven of King Indra. As a Gandharv, sometimes he visited the royal assembly of Kuva, one of the important demigods. Both Narad and Parvat were once in trouble with the daughter of Maharaj Srinjay. Maharaj Srinjay got the benediction of a son by Parvat Muni. Narad Muni is inevitably associated with the narrations of the Purans. He is described in the Bhagavatam. In his previous life, he was the son of a maidservant, but by good association with pure devotees, he became enlightened in devotional service, and in the next life he became a perfect man comparable with himself only. In the Mahabharata, his name is mentioned in many places. He is the principal Devarsi, or the chief sage amongst the demigods. He is the son and disciple of Brahmaji, and from him the disciplic succession in the line of Brahma has been spread. He initiated Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and many celebrated devotees of the Lord. He initiated even Vyasadeva, the author of the Vedic literatures, and from Vyasadeva Madhvacharya was initiated, and thus the Madhva Sampradaya, in which the Gaudiya Sampradaya is also included, has spread all over the universe. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu belonged to this Madhva Sampradaya. Therefore Brahmaji, Narad, Vyas, down to Madhva, Caitanya and the Goswamis all belong to the same line of disciplic succession. Naraji has instructed many kings from time immemorial. In the Bhagavatam we can see that he instructed Prahlad Maharaj while he was in the womb of his mother, and he instructed Vasudeva, father of Krishna, as well as Maharaj Yudhishthir. Daumya, a great sage who practiced severe penances at Utkochak Tirth and was appointed royal priest of the Pandav kings. He acted as the priest in many religious functions of the Pandavas, Samskar, and also each of the Pandavas was attended by him at the betrothal of Draupadi. He was present even during the exile of the Pandavas and used to advise them in circumstances when they were perplexed. He instructed them how to live incognito for 1 year, and his instructions were strictly followed by the Pandavas during that time. His name is mentioned also when the general funeral ceremony was performed after the battle of Kurukshetra. In the Anushasan Parv of Mahabharata, he gave religious instructions very elaborately to Maharaj Yudhishthir. He was actually the right type of priest of a householder, for he could guide the Pandavas on the right path of religion. A priest is meant for guiding the householder progressively in the right path of ashram dharma or the occupational duty of a particular caste. There is practically no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. The sages, saints and brahmanas were especially meant for such functions. Badarayan Vyasadeva, he is known as Krishna, Krishna Dvaipayan, Satyavati Sutta, Parasharya, Parasharatmaja, Badarayan, Vedavyas, etc. He was the son of Mahamuni Parashar in the womb of Satyavati prior to her betrothal with Maharaj Shantanu, the father of the great general grandfather Bhishmadev. He is a powerful incarnation of Narayan, and he broadcasts the Vedic wisdom to the world. As such, Vyasadeva is offered respects before one chants the Vedic literature, especially the Puranas. Shukdev Goswami was his son, and rishis like Vaishampayan were his disciples for different branches of the Vedas. He is the author of the great epic Mahabharata and the great transcendental literature Bhagavatam. The Brahm Sutras, the Vedant Sutras, or Badarayan Sutras, were compiled by him. Amongst sages, he is the most respected author by dint of severe penances. When he wanted to record the great epic Mahabharata for the welfare of all people in the age of Kali, he was feeling the necessity of a powerful writer who could take up his dictation. By the order of Brahmaji, Sri Ganeshaji took up the charge of noting down the dictation on the condition that Vyasadeva would not stop dictation for a moment. The Mahabharata was thus compiled by the joint endeavour of Vyas and Ganesh. By the order of his mother, Satyavati, who was later married to Maharaj Shantanu, and by the request of Bhishmadev, the eldest son of Maharaj Shantanu by his first wife, the Ganges, he begot 3 brilliant sons, whose names are Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidur. The Mahabharata was compiled by Vyasadeva after the battle of Kurukshetra, and after the death of all the heroes of Mahabharata. It was first spoken in the royal assembly of Maharaj Janamaji, the son of Maharaj Parikshit. Brihadashva, an ancient sage who used to meet Maharaj Yudhishthira now and then. First of all, he met Maharaj Yudhishthira at Kamyavan. This sage narrated the history of Maharaj Nal. There is another Brihadashva who is the son of the Ikshvaku dynasty. Bharadvaj, he is one of the 7 great rishis and was present at the time of the birth ceremony of Arjun. The powerful rishi sometimes undertook severe penances on the shore of the Ganges, and his ashram is still celebrated at Prayagadam. It is learned that this rishi, while taking bath in the Ganges, happened to meet Kritachi, one of the beautiful society girls of heaven, and thus he discharged semen, which was kept and preserved in an earthen pot, and from which Dron was born. So Dronacharya is the son of Bharadvaj Muni. Others say that Bharadvaj, the father of Dron, is a different person from Maharshi Bharadvaj. He was a great devotee of Brahma. Once he approached Dronacharya and requested him to stop the battle of Kurukshetra. Parashuram, or Renukasut, he is the son of Maharshi Jamadagni and Srimati Renuka. Thus he is also known as Renukasut. He is one of the powerful incarnations of God, and he killed the Kshatri community as a whole 21 times. With the blood of the Kshatris, he pleased the souls of his forefathers. Later on, he underwent severe penances at the Mahendra Parvat. After taking the whole earth from the Kshatris, he gave it in charity to Kashyap Muni. Parashuram instructed the Dana Veda, or the science of fighting, to Dronacharya because he happened to be a Brahmin. He was present during the coronation of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he celebrated the function along with other great rishis. Parashuram is so old that he met both Ram and Krishna at different times. He fought with Ram, but he accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. He also praised Arjun when he saw him with Krishna. When Bhishma refused to marry Amba, who wanted him to become her husband, Amba met Parashuram, and by her request only, he asked Bhishmadev to accept her as his wife. Bhishma refused to obey his order, although he was one of the spiritual masters of Bhishmadev. Parashuram fought with Bhishmadev when Bhishma neglected his warning. Both of them fought very severely, and at last Parashuram was pleased with Bhishma and gave him the benediction of becoming the greatest fighter in the world. Vasishtha, the great celebrated sage among the Brahmins, well known as the Brahmashi Vasishthadev. He is a prominent figure in both the Ramayana and Mahabharata periods. He celebrated the coronation ceremony of the personality of Godhead Sri Ram. He was present also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He could approach all the higher and lower planets, and his name is also connected with the history of Hiranyakashipu. There was a great tension between him and Vishvamit, who wanted his Kamadhanu, wish-fulfilling cow. Vasishtha Muni refused to spare his Kamadhanu, and for this Vishvamit killed his 100 sons. As a perfect Brahman, he tolerated all the taunts of Vishvamitra. Once he tried to commit suicide on account of Vishvamita's torture, but all his attempts were unsuccessful. He jumped from a hill, but the stones on which he fell became a stack of cotton, and thus he was saved. He jumped into the ocean, but the waves washed him ashore. He jumped into the river, but the river also washed him ashore. Thus all his suicide attempts were unsuccessful. He is also one of the 7 rishis and husband of Arundhati, the famous star. Indrapramad, another celebrated rishi. Trita, one of the 3 sons of Prajapati Gautam. He was the third son, and his other two brothers were known as Ekat and Vita. All the brothers were great sages and strict followers of the principles of religion. By dint of severe penances, they were promoted to Brahmalok, the planet where Brahmaji lives. Once Trita Muni fell into a well. He was an organizing worker of many sacrifices, and as one of the great sages, he also came to show respect to Bhishmaji at his deathbed. He was one of the 7 sages in the Varunalok. He hailed from the western countries of the world. As such, most probably he belonged to the European countries. At that time, the whole world was under one Vedic culture. Gritsamad, one of the sages of the heavenly kingdom. He was a close friend of Indra, the king of heaven, and was as great as Brihaspati. He used to visit the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he also visited the place where Bhishmadev breathed his last. Sometimes he explained the glories of Lord Shiva before Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was the son of Vitahavya, and he resembled in features the body of Indra. Sometimes the enemies of Indra mistook him to be Indra and arrested him. He was a great scholar of the Yog Ved, and thus he was highly respected by the Brahmin community. He lived a life of celibacy and was powerful in every respect. Asita, there was a king of the same name, but here in the Asita mentioned is the Asita Devala Rishi, a great powerful sage of the time. He explained to his father 15 lakh verses from the Mahabharata. He was one of the members in the snake sacrifice of Maharaj Janamejay. He was also present during the coronation ceremony of Maharaj Yudhishthira, along with other great rishis. He also gave Maharaj Yudhishthira instructions while he was on the Anjan hill. He was also one of the devotees of Lord Shiva. Kakshivan, one of the sons of Gautam Muni and the father of the great sage Kandakosika. He was one of the members of parliament of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Atri Muni was a great Brahman sage and was one of the mental sons of Brahmaji. Brahmaji is so powerful that simply by thinking of a son, he can have it. These sons are known as Manas Putras. Out of 7 Manas Putras of Brahmaji and out of the 7 great Brahman sages, Atri was one. In his family, the great Prachetas were also born. Atri Muni had 2 Kshatri sons who became kings. King Artham is one of them. He is counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis. His wife's name was Anasuya, and he helped Maharaj Parikshit in his great sacrifices. Kaushika, one of the permanent rishi members in the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He sometimes met Lord Krishna. There are several other sages of the same name. Sudarshan, this wheel which is accepted by the personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, as his personal weapon is the most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmastras or similar other disastrous weapons. In some of the Vedic literatures it is said that Agnidev, the fire god, presented this weapon to Lord Sri Krishna, but factually this weapon is eternally carried by the Lord. Agnidev presented this weapon to Krishna in the same way that Rukmini was given by Maharaj Rukma to the Lord. The Lord accepts such presentations from his devotees, even though such presentations are eternally his property. There is an elaborate description of this weapon in the Adi Parv of the Mahabharata. Lord Sri Krishna used this weapon to kill Shishupal, a rival of the Lord. He also killed Shalva by this weapon, and sometimes he wanted his friend Arjun to use it to kill his enemies.